Hello, everyone. Thank you for joining. While we wait just a bit for some more people to join, let's prepare our materials for today's activity. So if you haven't already, grab a scarf, bandana, or cloth. It can be any one of those. And then grab some hair ties or rubber bands. And then finally, find a spray bottle that you can fill with water, or you can use sprayable perfume or air freshener.
Yeah, so hopefully all of you have your materials ready, and if not, you can gather them while we're giving you an introduction today. So welcome to today's Peek at Home webinar. Peek at Home is a collection of webinars and lessons that you can do at home with little or no materials. Today we're going to be exploring the world of public health, the science behind filtration, and how you can protect yourself from disease with our Filtration Fighter Mask activity.
Yeah, I'm excited for that. But before we start, let's just talk a little bit about who we are. So we are the Energy Coalition, and in short, it's spelled TEC, pronounced tech. And we're a nonprofit organization with over 45 years of experience designing and implementing strategies that transform the way we use energy and hopefully inspire people to take responsible energy actions.
Yeah, so before we get started, let's introduce ourselves. First of all, my name is Jasmine, and I'm a Climate Corps Fellow with Tech, and I'm located here in Riverside, California, and my focus is on education and training within the Inland Empire.
Yeah, thanks, Jasmine. My name is Megan, and I work with Jasmine actually on education and training as a Climate Corps Fellow with Tech. But I work in San Diego, so I work mostly with schools throughout San Diego County. And I'm actually really excited for this lesson because I actually went to college and studied public health. And so it makes me really happy to be here and share what that means with you. Are you excited as me?
Yes, of course. I'm super excited.
Yay.
So it's such an important topic to learn about, and I'm excited to talk about it and encourage people to explore ways to stay healthy with everybody. So first of all, what is public health? Public health is important because we should all make sure that we're making choices to keep ourselves and others healthy in ways that we can control. Public health uses science to prevent disease within communities by promoting healthy lifestyles, researching diseases, and educating the public.
Yeah, and when it comes to keeping ourselves healthy, it is important to know what pathogens are and how they can be harmful to our health. So pathogens are bacterium or viruses that can cause disease such as chickenpox, smallpox, or even the common cold, but there's many more. You may be wondering, how can we protect ourselves from these diseases? Well, humans create vaccines to help us build immunity, but it is not guaranteed that they will protect us from all diseases, especially viruses, because they change form all the time. So if vaccines don't help us completely, what are other ways we can help protect ourselves?
Yeah, so today we're going to be discussing ways you can protect yourself and others. But before we discuss that, let's talk about what we're protecting ourselves from. So every day we breathe air into our lungs. However, air can contain pollutants that can be harmful to our health. We'll be discussing air pollutants later on in the presentation. We also have to protect ourselves from bacteria, germs, and viruses that can cause us to develop diseases. And lastly, there are chemicals that can be unsafe and toxic to our bodies that we can protect ourselves from.
Now, what are some ways that you can protect yourself from what we just discussed? So we're going to give you some tips to help yourself stay safe. First, let's talk about social distancing. Social distancing is when people are mindful of others and the way that disease spreads when people are too close together, so in really tight proximity. And by practicing social distancing, you significantly reduce the chances of someone passing along bacteria, germs, or a virus through close contact. When social distancing, you actually maintain a large amount apart, 6 feet apart from anyone surrounding you.
Yeah, so next we have wearing a face mask. By wearing a face mask, you protect the areas in your face where bacteria, germs, or even a virus can enter your body. This would be the nose and the mouth area. And it's important to remember that you avoid touching your eyes while you're out in public because pathogens can enter your body through your eyes as well. And we can't really cover our eyes because then we wouldn't be able to see where we're going. A face mask allows you to breathe, but it protects you by filtering the air that comes into your body. And lastly, you can disinfect and sanitize your hands, as well as other objects that you often touch, such as your phone or your keys. And when we go to public places, such as stores, there are many people touching things around the store, and they can carry bacteria, germs, and a virus, which you can then carry with you when you go home.
Yeah, and as you mentioned, like if we covered our eyes, we might not be able to see where we're going, but you can wear glasses or sunglasses to help further protect you too.
Mm-hmm.
So today, we're going to be teaching you how to create your own face mask with items that you have right in your own home. But first, we are going to go over how wearing a face mask can protect you. A face mask creates a barrier between your nose and mouth and the outside air. Polluted air is able to flow through the sheet of material, but then the material traps that harmful particulate matter inside before it enters your nose or mouth. Now you can breathe in and out clean air.
Yeah, that's great. So, there are many pollutants that contaminate the air, but today we're going to be going over the 5 major air pollutants. So, these are carbon monoxide, nitrogen oxide, ground level ozone, particulate pollution, and sulfur oxide. So, why are these pollutants concerning, and what happens when these pollutants enter the air?
Well, air pollutants can cause health concerns in humans as well as harm the environment's health. When a human breathes polluted air, they are more at risk for things such as asthma, allergies, lung disease, or other infections that make it hard to breathe. Air pollution can put these communities in danger.
Yeah, so now we're going to start our next activity, which will be a matching game. For each of the major pollutants, we'll be asking you all two questions that you will answer for each pollutant. The first question would be, which source or sources of contamination is a major cause of the pollutant entering our air? And the second question would be, are these sources of contamination human influenced or are they naturally occurring? So let's think about it. How do these air pollutants enter the atmosphere?
Our first pollutant is carbon monoxide. So how does this pollutant enter the air? We'll give you about a minute to answer the poll, or you can just think about in your head which one of these carbon monoxide comes from. And then think, does it enter the atmosphere through man-made processes or natural processes? We'll give you a few more seconds to think about it.
Yeah, so remember your options are motor vehicles, wood burning, industrial activity, natural gas stoves, or volcanic matter.
Yeah, great answers coming in. I see a lot about gas stoves. Why
Yeah,
don't we find out the answer? Oh, sorry.
no, it's okay. I was just gonna say a couple more seconds, but go ahead, Megan.
I was ready. I was ready to find the answer. Let's think about it. All right. Carbon monoxide actually comes mostly from motor vehicles and industry activity. It is created when carbon in fuels do not completely burn all the way. And this means that it's largely influenced by man-made processes.
Yeah, so let's move on to our second pollutant, which is nitrogen dioxide. We'll give you about a minute to answer the poll, and remember that your choices are listed on the slide that you're looking at right now. So first question would be, what sources of contamination do they come from? And then the second question would be, are they mostly human influenced or are they naturally occurring? Or both?
I see a lot of answers coming in. This is great. We have a lot. We have actually all the answers on the board.
Oh, yay. I think it's time to reveal the answer.
Awesome.
So nitrogen dioxide comes from motor vehicles, industrial activity, and unflued gas heaters / stovetops. So this means that this pollutant mostly comes from man-made processes.
Wow, yeah. All right, let's go to our third pollutant, which is ground level ozone. We'll give you a couple of minutes, or rather about a minute, to answer the poll and think about what sources of contamination And how does this pollutant enter the atmosphere?
I see some answers coming in.
Yeah, we got a lot of industrial activity.
Yeah.
Remember, it can be more than one.
All right, I think mostly everybody has answered already.
Great, let's think about the answer. All right, next slide. Well, what is ground level ozone? Ground level ozone is 3 oxygen atoms that bond together, and it's the main component in smog. And so the product is actually the interaction of sunlight emissions and cars. So as sunlight comes down and cars emit, it interacts together to become that layer of smog that you see on top of the city. And that means it's largely from man-made sources.
Yeah, so we have 2 more to go, so we're almost done. And our 4th one is going to be particle pollution. So we'll give you a minute to answer the poll, and we'll get back to the answer. So think about the source from where these contaminants come from, and then think about whether they're human influenced or they're naturally occurring.
Sometimes they're tricky.
Mm-hmm. Couple more seconds. I can see some good answers coming in.
All right, looks good to everybody. Let's find out the answer.
Okay, so most of these particles are formed in the atmosphere as a result of complex reactions of chemicals, which are emitted from power plants, motor vehicles, and industrial activity. So particle pollution comes largely from man-made processes.
All right, one more. Our 5th and final pollutant is sulfur dioxide. Now, this is your time to answer the poll and think about where the contamination comes from and whether it's man-made or naturally made.
Mm-hmm.
Wow, we've got a variety of answers so far. This is great.
Yeah, we got some volcanic matter.
All right, what do you say we roll out the answer?
Yeah, let's do it.
Great job, everyone. Let's see. All right, so for sulfur dioxide, it's actually emitted through fossil fuel combustion at power plants and other industrial facilities. However, it's also emitted by the decomposition and combustion of organic matter. So that can be also spray from the sea and volcanic eruptions. But great job, everyone. As you may have noticed, a large source of these pollutants that enter the air come from human activity, whether it's motor vehicles, industrial activity, or power plants. Now, we make conscious choices to help our own health and the health of the environment. So let's take a look at how we can better make those decisions through our careers in public health. So what does it mean to work in the field of public health? Well, there is not just one job that you can do in public health. There are a variety of subjects and specialties to think about.
Yeah, so I'm super excited to be looking into these various careers. And like Megan said, there's so many career paths that you can take if you're interested in the public health field. So our first career that we would like to share with you all is an epidemiologist. And this is a researcher that specifically studies infectious diseases and tracks the number of infections within a community. They look for patterns of how a certain disease spreads, and they use that knowledge to help control the outcome.
Yeah, they're so cool. And another really cool career is the health educator. So this job focuses on certain communities and their behaviors towards health. They look at a disease data and that's within a specific community, and then they educate the public with solutions to that specific disease. So, for example, let's say a community has higher rates of obesity than others. A health educator will take that information and offer a plan for education surrounding healthy food choices, exercise options, or even body anatomy lessons. This can not only help people become aware of a problem within their community, but it promotes positive behavior change.
Wow, that's super cool. So we're going to move on to our next career, which is an environmental health specialist. This job is so cool and super important because it prioritizes the health of humans and the environment regarding the materials and substances that we use. An environmental health specialist coordinates inspections of facilities to ensure that their practices follow regulations that ensure the safety of humans and the environment.
Our next job is the public health analyst. This job focuses on the creation of a solution to a community-specific disease and then prepares to implement that solution. So they make sure that the proposed solution is achievable, affordable, and will have a beneficial impact. Public health analysts work really closely with epidemiologists and health educators as they start to implement these programs.
Yeah. So lastly, we have a health and safety officer. So the health and safety officer in a facility is vital in ensuring the safety of those who work within the facility. They overlook the heavy machinery and the daily operations to make sure everybody is practicing the safety protocol and also being responsible.
Hope all of you have found these careers interesting, but please remember that there are so many careers to explore in public health. And in order to complete our public health objective today, we are all going to become honorary epidemiologists. So congratulations. Now, just like a real epidemiologist, we have a public health crisis and we need your help. This happens as soon as you get hired. This deadly disease starts spreading through your community. This is your problem and we need a solution. So, though you may not yet know how to cure this disease or where it came from, you must find a way to slow the spread. Your community needs a simple yet effective way to protect themselves and others against the disease. So as an honorary epidemiologist, your role is to act quickly because you know that disease spreads very fast. Your job is to research, build, and test a simple protective device to offer your community so that you can slow the spread of this disease. Are you up for it?
I'm up for it.
All right, let's get started.
Yay.
So now it's time to put our knowledge into action by protecting ourselves with our very own masks. Today, we are going to create a mask out of materials that we have at home. So our first step is to get those materials ready. So bring out the following materials: a bandana or scarf, rubber bands or hair ties, and a spray bottle with water, perfume, or even air freshener. But as we move along those last steps, be careful where you aim the air freshener or perfume, as you don't want to get it into your eyes. So Jasmine, it looks like you have all of your materials.
Yeah, do you?
Yeah, I have my scarf. I'm using rubber bands. I have 3 of them.
Okay, I'm using 2 hair ties. I know that we have different methods in how we're going to create our face masks, so we'll be going over that a little bit later.
Great, and then I have a big water bottle.
Oh yeah, and I have a small little bottle.
Awesome.
Yes.
Okay.
So for this second step, you will need your material, whether it's a scarf, a bandana, or a piece of cloth, and then you're going to need your 2 or your 3 hair ties or rubber bands. So you're going to place your material on a flat surface. So as you can see, I have a desk in front of me, and we're going to lay out our material so that it's nice and flat. So once you have it laid out, you're going to fold the bottom third inward toward the middle of your material. And then you're going to fold the top third over the middle and the bottom third. So it should look like a long rectangle.
Great, I think I did it.
Yeah, I did too.
Awesome.
Yay.
All right, are we ready to move on?
Yes.
Let's do it. So the next step is to take your 2 rubber bands, place one towards each end of your scarf. So they're just placeholders for now. You'll get to pick them up, one on each side. So take it with you. Scrunch up the end of your scarf and then place that rubber band on top of the end. And then you're going to scooch that rubber band down about 1/3 of the way, just like that. Yeah, nice, Jasmine. And then do the same on the other side. So rubber band goes around the end and then pull it about 1/3 of the way down.
Yeah. So a quick tip, if you're not sure how it's gonna look, you can just hold it up to your face and see how long you need the middle portion to be in order to cover your mouth fully.
Yeah, that looks about good for me.
Okay, me too. Are we ready for the next step?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay. Okay, so the next step is to tuck the fabric into itself. So this is my method just because I have a longer scarf. I'm gonna be folding the left third into the middle, and I'm gonna be placing this piece of fabric under my hair tie on the right side. And then I'm gonna be taking the other side and tucking it into the rubber band on the left side. So you're going to be folding them into each other. And then, Megan, do you want to go over your method?
Yeah, so my scarf, my fabric is a little bit smaller and shorter, so it doesn't reach all the way across to be able to tuck it in on the other side. So I've decided I'm going to fold one end in right at that rubber band height so that your rubber band, you can still pull it out to the side. And then I'm going to take the other side and fold it on top, just the same, so that the other rubber band holds out the other side. And then I have a 3rd rubber band, which I'm going to open up, take both ends of the scarf, and then tie them together with that rubber band so that they stay. You can get creative here too. If you need something a little different, try to figure out a way that will work with your material. How's that look? Everybody got it?
Yeah, looking good to me.
All right. So now you should have like a square piece of fabric.
Yes.
Yeah. And that square piece of fabric is it. That's it. That's all you had to do to create your mask.
Yay.
Nice job. So we'll pull our cameras back so you can see what it looks like. I'm going to put mine on. You can always take it out and redo the size. I think I made mine a little too small. Oops. Let's try it one more time.
Looks good.
Yeah, I think so too. I did. I made mine too small. Oh no. That's not protective.
That's okay. That's
Oh, there we go.
That's part of our job as an epidemiologist, is to figure out what works best and how we can protect ourselves well. So this was a good first try.
I might try again with a different kind of material and see if that fits my face better.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
Yeah. All right. So what's next now that you've made your mask? Well, you're protecting your body from pathogens. That's great.
Yeah. So now that we have a mask to protect ourselves, let's test out how effective it really is in protecting us when we're outside. So for this portion, you're going to need your spray bottle, like this one, or the one that Megan has. And you're going to fill it up with water, or if it has perfume or an air freshener, you can do that as well, but just be careful to not spray it into someone's face or your own. So be careful when you're using it.
Yeah, so as you can see on the screen, we actually have a table that will help you with this experiment. And there's different variables that will help you provide some more insight on the effectiveness of your mask. So with a blank sheet of paper, you can copy this down or you can take a picture of it, but you don't have to fill it out right away. because you'll be doing a lot of this testing on your own time so that you can really get into it like an epidemiologist would. But let's go over this table. So there are 3 rows, test number 1, 2, and 3. You can do it 3 times, or you can do it many, many more with different materials. Then the next column is the distance between spray bottle and mask. So you can try 1 foot, 3 feet, and 6 feet between the spray bottle and the mask. The next observation that we will be recording is, were there any droplets seen on the other side of the mask when you sprayed your bottle? Well, answer yes or no within that column. And that leads you to the next column, which is this mask effective at this distance? And it'll depend on if any droplets were seen on the other side of the mask. And then that last column is, how do you know that your answer was right? As an epidemiologist, you always have to prove your findings and your results so that people understand how you came to your solution.
Yeah, so now that we have our chart ready for when we begin testing our masks, let's begin testing. For the first test, you're gonna hold the mask out facing the ground. So you're gonna hold it in front of you, but you're gonna be holding it from one side. So this is one of my hair ties, and you're gonna make sure that it's facing downward toward the ground. So before you spray, you're gonna make sure that you're paying attention. And what you're gonna be paying attention for is whether the spray is gonna surpass the material and get to the other side, or if our mask is gonna do a good job of protecting us by not allowing the droplets to reach the other side. So remember, never spray at somebody's face. Always spray away from anybody's face, and make sure that you're being careful and safe. So are you ready for this part, Megan?
Yeah, I'm ready. Do you want to go first?
Yeah, I'll go first. So you can see my spray bottle here, and pay attention to see if you see the droplets go to the other side. Did you see it?
I saw the first part. I think it protected it pretty well.
Yeah.
I didn't see any on the other side.
Yeah, I think it's a good mask.
I think so too.
Are you ready for your mask test?
Yeah, I'm ready. Okay.
Okay.
Here's mine.
Mm-hmm.
Here we go. Keep your eyes on it.
I think yours did really well.
Really?
Yeah, I didn't see any go on the other side.
Ooh, that's awesome. Maybe this one is a pretty good mask, huh?
Yeah, great job.
Thanks. I'll have to do some more testing though. Make sure it's safe from all distances.
Me too. Yeah, me too.
All right, so let's finish this out. You've done some testing, you'll do some more, but let's see if we can add on. So now that you've made your own mask and tested it out, let's discuss why this is a good thing for fighting pathogens. If you'd like to keep this experiment going, we have some suggestions for you all. So take a look at these questions and see if you can answer them. What material would protect you best? What are other ways that you can make a mask? So what materials, or how can you build better stability points or material? Does distance affect how protected you are? Is there a benefit to the 6 feet rule? And then encourage your friends and family to make their own masks so that everybody can be protected from those viruses and bacteria and germs. And remember to keep social distancing.
Yeah, so I really hope that everybody will continue to explore this further. Congratulate yourselves for protecting yourself and others, and continue to fight pathogens when wearing your mask when you're in large groups of people. But that's all that we have for you today. So thank you so much for joining us, and we hope that you learned something new and you enjoyed this webinar with us today. So join us on Tuesday at 1 p.m. to go over another fun activity where we're going to be getting to know more of our STEM heroes. So if you have any questions at all, please send us a chat with your questions and your email, and we'll be sure to email you back as soon as we can. Thank you so much.
Yeah, and if you have any other things you want to learn that are STEAM related, so science, technology, engineering, art, or math, we have lessons for you. Just join us at peakstudents.org and you can access our full library of recorded webinars, guided activities, and lessons that you can do right in your own home. So we hope to see you again soon, and thank you so much for joining us.
Bye. Be safe.
This webinar was brought to you by the Energy Coalition. With NGSS-aligned and environmentally focused STEM lessons, the Energy Coalition provides Peak at Home, digital lessons designed to support your students' curiosity for science and exploration from the comfort of home. To sign up is quick and easy. Simply visit the Families Corner of the Peak website at peakstudents.org/families-corner. There, you can complete the registration form for access to our full Peak at Home library and for more information on all Peak program offerings.